As always, I am joined
Yeah.
by one of my best friends, Grayson. Brother, how are you doing?
Hello, City fam. It's good to be here. Kind of a bittersweet. There's no sweet result about that. There's no sweetness in this result, but it's bittersweet because I'm here. I'm happy to be here with you, Jacob. You're looking dark. You're looking spooky, man.
Yeah, in what is going to be my setup, nothing is actually set up. I don't have my lights set up. I was having PC issues yesterday, so that's why this video isn't coming out sooner. But I'm making do with what I've got. So eventually there will be stuff in the background
Oh
that'll
yeah.
look more like a professional instead of this just blurry screen.
I don't know. Right now, you look like a spooky horror podcaster, one that my mom would love to listen to, even though she loves listening to us too. So
The game was spooky and horrific, so it kind of is setting the mood for this episode that we're going to talk about.
it was a dark and stormy day in STL for this one. We did end up getting a match delay at about the 65th minute, which I was very thankful for because I was actually at work, and so it allowed me to catch the last 30 minutes of this match. So I was very happy for that, at least. But it wasn't the best watch, not gonna lie. But, there is some positives to take away, maybe just one.
As far as the delay is concerned, yes, glad you were able to catch the end of the game.
Yeah.
That's dope, because this is what we do for our hobby. It sucked because we were kind of on the front foot right before they delayed. Like, we had really started putting pressure and attacking, and we were actually in possession, going down the left hand side when the referee blew the whistle, and it was like, damn, we were in good form. So there's the shitty part, but the
Mm-hmm.
good part of it is it it stopped at a point in the game where the team was able to go into the locker room, regroup, and then come out for what was a really strong final push for the last
Yeah.
20 or so minutes. We just again cannot put the ball in the back of the net.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'll get into it a little bit more in the meat of the episode, but St. Louis City really is two teams right now. Neither of them can score goals, but we are two different teams, very distinctly different teams, and I'll get into it. I'll break it down a little bit more later in the episode, but right now we're gonna go ahead and jump into this match this week. We got Austin FC. So we're going to go ahead and take it to the lineups. Uh, and yeah, we're still missing some rather big names from this lineup. So without further ado, the starting 11. In the back, we got Ben Lunt once again holding it down. I think he had a good game, really. Uh, with with a player like Ben Lunt, the only thing that's really gonna make me say he had a bad game is distribution, and he did not make a fatal mistake this game. So, for me, he's a pretty decent shot stopper. He saved our butt a couple times this match, but at last one would sneak by, and it really wasn't his fault. It was a deflection. It's so close. But enough said. Back line, we do have some changes because Joachim Nielsen would get his first start of the year. It's good to have him back. Interesting game for him, though, personally. We got Henry Kessler once again holding it down in the middle. Again, one of our best players this season. Josh Yarrow slotting into the right center back position because Kyle Hebert would be pushed into the right wing back position due to Totland's injury. We've got a lot of people out, but yeah, a lot of people were wanting to see Zielinski pulled into this match, and he would not be pulled into this match. We've got Giannis Horn at the left wing back position. Another decent match from him. He's becoming very consistent from what I can see. He's not providing assists right now, but he's a defender first, and he's getting that done. In the middle of the park, we got to see Conrad Vollum pushed up a little further this match, so I was very happy to see that. Not the most influential game from him, but I'm happy to see him pushing a bit forward. We got Chris Durkin and Alfredo Morales filling in for Edu Leuven in the midfield there. And then, of course, up top would be the most interesting story from this matchup, which is Hartel and Betcher. Playing in sort of a dual striker set this week, and we just really couldn't get too much off. This is one of the quieter games for Betcher this week, sadly. And then let me just pull up my substitutes here because I totally forgot to grab them. But we had Akil Watts come in the 61st, accompanied by Celio Pompeu, who is racking up more and more minutes as we go. And in my opinion, he was one of the better players offensively this week. Just very, very bright, willing to take people on. Had a good couple chances created, but nothing fell to the feet of our other subs. We got Thomas Ostrick coming in the 68th, and we had Joao Klaus in the 68th. And then finally, we had Timo Baumgartel come in for a little stint up top. Very interesting, and I would like to get more into that in a second. But, Jacob, any thoughts on this lineup initially?
Initially, very defensive, which we've come to as the new norm here in St. Louis with our lineups. Defense first, which I'm kind of going to get into my point as well. Player by player, though, Ben Lunt, similarly to you, as long as he doesn't make fatal mistakes, I'm not going to consider his performances bad. He can definitely go up and have fantastic performances, but for the most part, just being median, filling the role, stopping shots while Berkey's out injured, that's all I can ask from him. Not seeing Zielinski get any clock in this game with all the injuries definitely hurts, but Kyle Hebert honestly didn't look too bad in this game. He had a couple nice forward progressing passes that is not typically a part of his bag. Josh Yarrow, okay game. Henry Kessler, the GOAT. Joachim Nielsen got absolutely skinned for the goal.
Yeah.
So
it's not a good matchup. Not a good matchup there.
His stock fell for me in this game. Giannis Horn coming off with an injury, hoping it's nothing too major. In the post-match presser, they said something about it hopefully being cramps, but, City with injury news, they're going to wait till the very last second to tell us what it is. I thought Conrad Vollum had an okay game. He still plays angry, which I like, but also he's very young, so it's like his mental's not all the way there throughout the entire game. He makes some silly mistakes, yada yada. Chris Durkin also came off with an injury to his knee. From both of our experiences, they were definitely doing an ACL test on the field to see if all of his ligaments were holding that knee in place, and then he gets subbed off. So, big hopes that it's nothing too major, but honestly, I don't have high hopes. Morales starting in the Edu Leuven role, I did not think he played a good game. I think he is best off of the bench after the 60th minute. That's when he really comes in, that cool, calm, collected nature, but not from the jump. He's not there yet. Hartel, full 90, is one of our most promising attacking players, and he was just dropping deeper and deeper and deeper to get the ball, really congesting spaces. And Simon Betcher, like you said, very, very quiet night. The game plan was for him to really get in behind and get those long balls, but we weren't really executing that as a team. So, again, he was dropping deeper and deeper, and then if our front man is dropping deeper, we're going to be in a low block for 65 minutes of this game.
Yeah.
You had mentioned it, though. The substitutions, specifically Timo Baumgartel, in a forward position is wild. I understand it's for height, so that these crosses have a couple larger targets to look for. I would not ever do that again.
Yeah.
He had two really solid chances to score, and if that is an attacking player, I think they do bury them. Timo Baumgart will play center back, bro. That's not his role.
There are center backs like that out there that have that goal in them. We're talking, honestly, this is a sleeper, but Harry Maguire, when you put that man up top, he looks different. um, but yeah, sadly, Timo is just a target there, but a target that's not doing too much. And that's not on him. Like, we did what he did exactly what any center back is going to do and try to get in the right positions, but they just don't have that technical ability to strike the ball cleanly, to know instinctually what to do when the ball falls at your feet. And yeah, we just need the right players in the right spots. And right now, no player seems to be the right player or in the right spot. And it just sucks. It just sucks.
I did like Celio. He had a good showing. There was a moment there where he's got the ball on the top left side of the box and he cuts onto his right foot. And in my head, I'm like, this is in his bag. He's done it against Kansas City.
Mhm.
We've seen him do this before. And he rears up to take a shot and he puts it 50 yards over and wide of the net. And I was like, God damn it. Is that the injury or is that just being out of the game for too long? What is it? But yeah, other than that, Akil Watts, great showing once he got on. Not a bad showing by any means, but probably not the player to sub in there. But our bench was light this week. I mean, the only people who didn't get clock were Michael Wenzel, Oliveira's backup goalkeeper, and Joey Zielinski.
Not a lot of depth, sadly, here. Yeah.
Which was like the main thing we were harping on in the preseason is like we have depth at all of these positions. Something we didn't have last season, and that's why we were so ass. And in this match, we don't have depth.
Yeah. There's just like so many things that I think about from last season that were just big red flags. And last season it was like, oh, we need to fix the defense. We need to fix the defense. But then every game week where we had a good defense, it was Roman Berkey yelling, we got to score. Like, we can't win games defending. Like, that's defense is great. We can be super good. They can't score. Awesome. If we don't score, we don't win. And there are so many games I can think of last season where it's not the defense's fault that we're losing. It's not the defense's fault that we're tying. We just couldn't get it in the back of the net. And it kind of frustrates me that we kind of believed that we solved the offensive problem last season at the end of last season. Like, we thought we had it covered because of those last 5 games, because our new DP's signings were popping off. And now the transfer market is closed, and we're stuck with what we got. We can't really do much here besides just keep chopping and changing and trying to get our strikers to score. Like, this is what we're stuck with, guys. This is our offense. It's tricky.
Yeah. Do you want to go into our points now? Because that kind of takes me into my point a little bit.
Yeah. Let's go ahead and get into our. I have it down here on our screen as 3 points from match day 5. That is incorrect. 1, it's match day 6. And 2, Ethan is not here, but we will give him some space to share his point. But Jacob, why don't you get into your point?
Yeah, so just like you had said, my point is basically I'm frustrated. Frustrating that it took a rain delay for us to look like we're actually going to try and win the game instead of just not losing it, which is kind of the mindset that this team has had since the start of the year. Just don't lose the game. And the mindset to go out and win a game versus a mindset to go out and lose a game are two completely different mindsets to have as a team. And I don't care if you want to argue that, not you, but like the people in the comments, if you want to argue that with me, those are clear two different mindsets to have. Um, I also don't think that it's a personnel issue. I think we have the quality in the locker room to go out and win games. I don't think it's a tactical issue. I don't think it's something that Melberg isn't bringing to the table as far as an attacking philosophy goes. I think it is truly a philosophy that comes from the players. We had such a woeful year too, where we did lose a lot of games from winning positions where like it's like PTSD for these guys. It's like, let's just not lose first. It's like, no. We have to go out there and try and win. The voices in the locker room have got to be loud. And I know we're missing Berkey right now. I know we're missing Edu, two staples, two leaders in the team that aren't there. Edu was out for the red card, and also he's dealing with his wife. Not a ton of news on that, but he's given personal time to go and be there for her. So people have to step up in the locker room. And we saw that. Like, I don't know who spoke when they went in for the rain delay, but whoever did needs to be speaking before every single match because they came out hot and ready for the last 20 minutes of that match. I will say, this coming weekend, we play Sporting Kansas City. It is a derby. Betcher said in the presser, it is a non-negotiable that we have to win this game, and he's absolutely right. Take everything that happened in the last 20 minutes and all the good stuff that happened against LA Galaxy, bottle it, and take it to, what is it? The Furniture Mart? Kansas Furniture Mart? Nebraska Furniture Mart? Whatever. And we have to get out of there with a W. One, that team is literally the bottom of the table. I will get into it in our preview, but they are bottom feeders.
Bad.
We can't, in a game against a team that is definitely less than us, we cannot come out and try not to lose the game. We've got to go and make our mark here in Missouri. That like, no, boys. Missouri is red. It is city red. And you guys are going to take a back seat for the next decade while we run MLS. That's the mindset I want them to have. Not this bullshit cookie cutter, let's not lose bullshit that we've been watching since February 22nd.
Bro, it's been brutal. And yeah, we need people to go out there and want to take this win. And yeah, like what you were saying about how the team looked like they had a fire under them for the end of the match. Well, that kind of gets me into my point this week because, like I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, 2025 St. Louis City, we've seen two different teams over and over so far. Out of 6 matches we've seen, I think both teams 3 times. So we've got one team that defends their life, but they cannot possess the ball in the slightest. We just defend. That's it. And then we have this St. Louis City team that can possess the ball, has quality in possession, still can't do anything with it. And yeah, I complained a lot about last week about how we looked in the San Diego match in this matchup from last week and how we lacked any sort of confidence moving the ball. We get held under siege. We don't get a sniff. And this time, Austin allowed us to play into the match, and we generated 200 more passes than Austin. We had 16 shots, but only 2 on target. It's the same old story. When the game plan doesn't work, even when it does work, when the game plan does work, we still can't capitalize. And I think it's it's just obvious that we need to have a target man on the pitch. And we did see a lot of positivity come onto the field when Pompeo and Klaus both entered the fray. You know, Celio brings creativity. Um, he's dynamic. He forces defenders to think about him with or without the ball. It seems like almost everyone else in our team right now is only dangerous when they have the ball at their feet. Um, yeah, like Jacob said, we rarely see people making dangerous runs. I looked at the stats from this week. We didn't have a single through ball this match. A single through
Not
ball.
one.
Not a single through ball. Um, so, there's no one making the run. We don't see those lines. We aren't splitting defenders. It's great when we pass horizontally and we try to spread the pitch, but we need players to make threatening balls, to take risks. And, sometimes I think when we do play a game like this where we do have more possession, we just aren't taking the risks that we need to score. And yeah, another rainy, gloomy day in St. Louis. And it's starting to make me nervous. We are getting a little bit further into the season now, and our offense is worse than Kansas City's. That's awful.
They've scored 4 goals in 6 matches.
We ended this match with Timo Baumgartel playing striker. What is happening, y'all? Like, what? And yeah, it's April Fool's Day. I woke up to Olaf Melber being sacked. Kudos to ball watching. That was pretty funny, and it got me. It got me good.
You
And
got me in the group chat when you said it to him.
yeah, I sent it again in the group chat, and I was like, boys, what? Dude, like, honestly, after this match, I was like, it could be true. Like, I know Lutz is ruthless, but um,
Also,
we
this was
need
on
to
the
see.
heels of Peter Vermees actually, for real, being fired.
Exactly. So,
I was like, that's kind of wild, but I also wasn't that surprised either.
I know.
I saw it.
Like, part of me was like, this could be very well real. And that's insane that a coach like Olaf Melberg, who honestly isn't having that bad to this, a start to his season, but, we have high expectations in St. Louis, especially this year. Like, we've touted a couple players on this team to be MVP caliber, and so far we've seen nothing, nothing even close to an MVP performance from any of our players, other than Henry Kessler. You could get MVP.
Yeah, he's definitely a defender of the year candidate, but only 1 goal from Hartel so far, 1 goal from, or 1 assist from Hartel so far, a goal from Teuscher, a goal from Betcher, and who had the lone goal in the 1-0 W.
Leuven.
And a goal, yeah, the fucking free kick. How could I forget? And a single goal from
Yeah.
no one is even close to MVP caliber right now.
For me, I think it's time to change that lineup. Like, I've said it last week, and I think we need to try the 4-2-3-1. Just bring it back. Just push more people up the field. Yes, we will sacrifice some stability defensively, but we've got Henry Kessler playing out of his mind. We have, enough. We have enough defenders to make this happen.
Which, with the injuries we suffered in this match, he might be forced into a 4-back formation.
Yeah.
Otherwise, he's not going to have a defensive sub unless we pull from City too, which is possible. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Wenzel
hasn't got clocked this season for the senior roster.
And I mean, Wenzel's a fantastic center back. Like, I have no problem with him being on this team. Even starting, I wouldn't be mad, especially against Sporting Kansas City. I think he can hold his own. But yeah, we've I think it's just about time we make a change. And that's nothing against the five back. Like I really like the five back and how it's looked this year. I just think it's stale. It's just stale right now. We need to get our offense working and maybe we can circle back to it, but just right
This was
now it's just
definitely
not.
like the stalest moving forward five back we've had. And that's because we had five true center backs out there, two of them playing wing back. And Giannis Horn has done a job, but Giannis Horn's about to be out. We don't really have another left back replacement. I mean, Celio played left wing back for a grip in this game when he subbed on. And it's like, yeah, I think you're right. We're going to have to move to a four back formation.
We just need to try something new. Well, Ethan, thanks for calling in. How about you share your point for this week? Oh, thank you. That was beautiful. Very well said. I'm very proud of your ball knowledge.
You are extremely eloquent in the way that you speak, and I just got such a beautiful voice. I love to hear it.
I got chills. I got chills. And I think you're right. I think that is going to fix St. Louis City for next week. Great job.
And I think you're wrong. Cover both bases.
There we go. We got it. Okay, cool. Well, any final notes from this match?
No, I'm over it. I
We're
wanna
done. We're over it. Austin,
beat the shit out of
we'll
Kansas.
see you later. But before we go, Austin, let's talk about your kits. Ding ding ding. It's Kit Clash time, baby. This week we are judging the Austin FC away kit. This kit they did have last season, and I think I rated this kit decent. I actually really like it. It kind of grew on me since last season. I think it looks really good, especially on field. I think it looks great.
Yeah,
Um, shoot, I don't know what I gave it last time, but for me, it's going to be an 8.3. I gave it a 7.8 in my notes. I'm going to raise it up a little bit. 8.3.
I do like this kid. I don't know what I rated it last year. I was pretty harsh last year, so probably low. But green and black is such like an easy combo to get right, and they definitely got it right with this one. Also, watched this game with some friends, and it was pointed out that Yeti as a sponsor is very cool,
It
and
looks
I
good.
couldn't agree more. I don't know what sort of perks they're getting as a team with Yeti as their sponsor. Like, does the team just have a bunch of tumblers laying around, or coolers, for the road? But I'm gonna rate this kid. Would you give it an 8.3?
8.3, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Okay. To keep on my harsh critic, I'm gonna rate it an 8.2.
Okay. And then Ethan. Okay, nice, nice, nice. Very interesting. That's a hot take. That's a hot take, man. Jeez, that's a hot take.
Ice cold take, bro. Ice cold take.
Oh my gosh. I do like the sponsor. It's very reminiscent of a Jeep sponsor. You know, just big blocky four little words, man.
Gets the point across.
It does the job. Does the job. Moving on, let's get into our match preview because it is a pretty big one. I think I am gonna try to sneak some tickets and sneak off to enemy enemy territory to catch this match in Kansas City.
I
Should
would
be
love to
fun.
catch this game for my birthday. However,
However,
I do have to work this weekend,
yeah,
so
yeah.
I can't make it. But my preview for Sporting Kansas City is actually has no stats involved in it whatsoever. Very different from past weeks because this is a derby. Um, Literally, what I have written down is there's not much to say. To be fair, they've been ass since last season, and it has carried over to this season. They just fired their head coach, and it is a derby, so there are two incentives for Sporting Kansas City to win this match. They're going to have that new head coach buff, and it's a derby, so they're going to come out hot. We heard what Johnny Russell said, and if you haven't heard, fuck Johnny Russell.
Fuck Johnny Russell.
So City's got its own incentives to come out and dominate this game. I don't think it's going to be an easy win for all of the things that I listed. My prediction is 2-1 City, and my goal scorer is Simon Betcher.
Word. I like that. Yeah. Sporting Kansas City is without Peter Vermees. I am going to talk about this a little bit in the City Spotlight tomorrow, but I will also break it down here because Peter Vermees is pretty legendary. Of course, we are haters, but you got to give respect where respect is due, and this guy deserves some flowers for his 17-year reign as head coach at Sporting Kansas City. I mean, that's absurd. Come on. That is one MLS Cup and 3 U.S. Open Cups. Bro's got some silverware. He's got some silverware in there. Yeah, I mean, he's got 203 career wins as a coach, which is the third most in MLS history. It's pretty nutty. Like, truly a historic coach with a historically shit team. Kansas City currently sit dead last this season with 1 point. They've got 1 point this season. That's 1 draw and 5 losses. I'll do the math for you. And let me tell you, they'd love to earn their first 3 points by beating St. Louis. They want it. They want it real bad. And yeah, their offense is better than ours. That's embarrassing to say. We need goals from literally any of our players. I don't care at this point. Let's get a Ben Lunt hat trick, own goal hat trick, whoever. I don't care. Just put it in the back of the net. Yeah, someone's got to be selfish, and I'm tired of I feel like everyone gets to the box and they are looking for the final man. You're the final man. Score the goal. You do it. Take it yourself. Be selfish. Score a goal. Go crazy. Sporting's defense is not good. We can take them. We can take them. And I think our defense is going to hold strong. I don't think they're going to score against us. I think we're going to get a clean sheet. In my notes, I put 3-1 City. I think it's going to be 3-0 City. And I really hope this is the game that gets our offense just sparked up, ready to go. Put some goals in the back of the net, get our confidence going, get everybody's confidence going, and we'll be in a much better place next week. I'm going 3-0, and I'm not going to predict a hat trick from Ben Lunt. I think goal scorer for this week, I think Hartel. I'm going to say Hartel. As Jacob said, he's one of our most dangerous players. He's so far our Iron Man, knock on wood. He's healthy. He stays on the pitch, and I think he deserves a goal. He deserves a goal. He's going to get it.
2 things. One, the reason I picked Betcher is in watching the post-match press conference when he started talking about the derby with Kansas City. I could see just in his eyes and in his body language the fire that was already lit underneath him for this match.
Mm-hmm.
He went to SLU. He didn't get to play in it last year, if I remember correctly. He showed up too late.
Yeah.
So this will be his first one against Sporting Kansas City. So I have hope in Betcher this weekend. Second thing, the Peter Vermees sacking, although they are 0-1-5 or 0-5-1, however you want to look at the standings, going into the season, they did say that Peter Vermees has a 2-year window to turn this team around.
They said that at the beginning of this year.
Yeah, they gave him 5 games, 6 games
Bro.
before they sacked him. Honestly, they were probably thinking that at this point they'd be a 500 team. So, I get it. Also, the supporters, I don't know what Sporting Kansas City supporters call themselves other than
The Cauldron?
I think so.
Oh, I think that's just the spot that they sit. Like their fan wall or whatever. It's the Cauldron. I don't know. Sorry, guys.
Asleep at night, whatever. They wrote a letter to the club, basically asking for Peter Vermees' head, and I don't believe for a second that the quote came out. I think from the GM that was like, I hadn't read the letter until after we had the conversation with Peter.
I don't think so. I don't think so. Yeah, I agree. I think this is like 100%. The club had to.
Yeah.
Like at this point, Peter Vermees, fantastic coach. It's not working. It's not working.
Attendance is down, so ticket sales are down. Team's losing money. The team is losing on the field. Had to do something, so they fired their head coach.
I mean, yeah, the only thing that they did in the offseason was Dejan Joveljic. Fantastic player. Fantastic player, don't get me wrong. But
I think they had 14 player exits. Something like that. It was a large number.
Yeah.
Contrast to the incoming players that they had.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, Shallowy's having a good season. Tommy is, having a decent season. But there's a couple players that really haven't, like Willie Agata. I don't think he's had, a good start to the season. I feel like every time I see Kansas City, he's not in the lineup, which is strange because I thought he was really good. He might be injured. Kansas City, I don't watch you guys play. I don't want to watch you guys play.
Yeah, I don't keep up with Kansas City games.
So
they're not worth my time. And they weren't worth Kansas City supporters' time either, as seen by the letter.
Let's see. Their last game, they lost to Dallas. And I will say, Shallowy scored a really good goal to open the scoring in this match. And then 2 goals 5 minutes later would shut them up real quick. But yeah, I mean, Jake Davis, they got Jacob Bartlett, Manu Garcia. They have some players, like Pulskamp is really good. Their new QB, their new goalkeeper. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. They've got some interesting pieces, but oh yeah, Willie Agata came off the bench last week. But yeah, this is gonna be their new head coach or their new interim coach's first match, so it'll be very interesting. The new coach bounce is a thing. I don't know if it's a thing when you're Kansas City. I don't know if you can get much better than that.
It's tough. It's like the stakes are high for an interim coach. Your first game that you're going to be managing is a derby against St. Louis, where nothing's really gone right for us this season. So this is our get back on track match as well as a derby match. So
yeah. I think for Kansas City, I've seen a lot of talk from their fans, and they have little to no expectations for this match. All over Facebook, it was like Sporting Kansas City fans just begging people to get tickets so that it's not just a St. Louis home game. Because it very well could be just with everything that's going on. So I think there's going to be a large amount of City Red in the park this weekend. So I'm very excited to be there. I'll make sure to catch some clips for the pod so you guys can see how fun it's gonna be.
Well, I got nothing else to say.
Yeah, me neither. I think we're good to go. If you would like to spit the intro, baby.
Cool. Well,
Or outro, jeez.
intro, outro, same thing. If you've been watching on YouTube, make sure you like, subscribe, and comment. If you've been listening on Spotify, make sure you follow and rate 5 stars. And other than Kansas City, if you are still here, do not forget to tell your mother you love her. Peace.
STL. STL. STL.